Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk The Walking Dead. Season 6 is the best season yet. Alright guys, this is going to be a quick discussion video, mainly because I like doing these videos where I start the conversation, I hear all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment box, and then maybe in a few weeks or a couple months from now we revisit this, so that way I can not only give my opinions, but kind of give the overall feel and opinions of all the thoughts and comments that were in the comment box. So right now we're going to talk about the best seasons from 6 to number 1. And I'm going to put them in a quick list. I'm actually going to watch them all. I'm going to marathon them coming up in the next couple weeks. And I'm actually going to revisit this in a more detailed video. Also, when I do that, I got a list of top 10s, top 5s, top 3s, best moments, worst moments, and comic versus videos. I've been planning these for a little bit, but I'm upgrading some equipment and I'm bringing the videos out, or at least I'm going to try to, with the quality and how I envision them right from the gate. These are videos I don't want to just make with me talking in front of you and then, in a month from now I do it again and I just add images, and 2 months from now I do it again and I add videos or whatever. I want to do it in a certain way. I want it to be nice, entertaining, and an enjoyable video. Yeah, so coming soon. I got all that planned for the break. It's not going to be able to like one video a day of these highly edited and detailed videos, so I do need some patience, but a lot coming. So take advantage of this video also and put your suggestions down in that comment box. Let it rip. Anything from most gruesome walkers, top 10 walker kills, anything you can think of, the most interesting, to mix it up a bit. No idea right now is a stupid idea, because something you say that could actually be kind of silly could give me an idea for something really good. You never know. Or you might just have an amazing idea. Put those all down in the comment box. Let's go to the best seasons yet. Right now, I strongly believe in I don't believe, I know. For me, as a fan, enjoying season 6 as much as I have, there was a little stumble in the beginning of the season, I'll admit that, because I was so eager for No Way Out, and I felt like they were doing an underwhelming version of No Way Out up to the point where episode 9 came and it was like, whoa, the big explosion. But even before that, it felt like it stumbled a little. However, I have enjoyed the hell out of this season so much that they would have to bomb the next 5 episodes for me to not put this as the best season so far on my list. Now, for a while, season number 1 has been the top contender, mainly because of the nostalgia for it. So going down the list, I'm going to say at this point, unless they screw up in a major way, season 6 for me is the best season so far. Now the number 2 spot is going to go to season 1, and I have to, because of the nostalgia. And that is because when I've been a zombie fan since I was a little baby boy, but I felt like the material we were getting, the movies, the shows, the cartoons, the music, whatever, anything that's zombie related, I'm being silly, but anything and everything that's zombie related, from movies to shows to games, anything, I thought we were getting a lot less quality than we deserved for the genre. Even the older classics to more current, even the survival horror types like Resident Evil, I just felt like the quality was very, very low. Even when they had really good monsters on it, really good zombies, the storytelling itself, especially the characters, were at an all-time low for the most part. When The Walking Dead came on, and I told this story plenty of times, I loved it since the first episode. So that's why season 1 is nostalgic for me, because it was falling in love with this world, these characters, this story, for the first time, being like, now this is how you do a zombie movie, zombie show, whatever. And fearing that would go away and we'd go back to having shitty, less quality movies again for the zombie genre. So season 1's on my number 2 list. Number 3, and again, this is probably going to change somewhat when when I rewatch these. Number 3 now is going to be season 5. And this might actually teeter. So if you disagree with this, there's a chance this might change up some. I did really enjoy season 5, even though a lot of people were like, oh, they're on the road again, this is happening. There's still a lot that I really enjoyed from that season. And number 4 spot is going to be season 4. There's so much they did to redeem the governor story, in my opinion, that again, it brought me to loving the story and the characters even when they are just simply traveling, because again, this is stuff from the comic as well that I was really interested to see brought to the screen. But, and I will say, and I will admit, these will most likely change around when I marathon it. And that's going to bring us to my final discussion for number 5 and number 6. Sorry. My 5th on the list is season 2, and the last place spot is, you guessed it, season 3. I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, that's crazy, that's blasphemy. Now I'll explain why. When I was marathoning this before season 6, I marathoned it on Blu-ray. Season 1 came and I loved it all up into the CDC. The CDC I don't really like. I like it. I like what they did. I like the people. I like, you know what I'm saying? But it pulls me out of the story because I feel like it was doing something else, and all of a sudden the CDC, it feels out of place. That's the best way I can describe it. But I like the acting, I like the characters, I like some of the scenes. Some of it is still funny, especially when they lock them in and everything. There's some funny moments, but it feels out of place, you know what I mean? Now when season 2 comes, I know season 2 gets a lot of hate, but there's something similar to season 1 about the dialogue and the characters, and even though they're just standing around talking about what to do, there's something more to the dialogue that holds the story together, and it's solid. And again, I think Sophia and the Barn, that revelation, that mid-season finale, it's one of the best moments on the show still in my eyes. Absolutely awesome. However, season 2, it was the dialogue, in my opinion. It was the dialogue and the characters and their interactions and their connections that drew me in, even marathoning it. I thought season 2 was going to be a season where I was like, okay, let's get this over with to get to season 3. And I was totally shocked when I was watching season 2 and I was loving every damn moment. Now, when we get to the Randall ordeal, I'll admit, there's a couple moments here and there where it's like, okay, just finish up with this shit already and get to the point. But they eventually do. And with the Shane and John Bernthal's acting, with the Barn, him flipping out, his like descent into madness. So even though it wasn't action-packed, I still really find that to be a solid season. There's something about it where I just love, and there is problems with it. But then when we get to season 3, here's where my biggest issues come. Season 3 came, and even though a lot of people call it the most eventful season, it's action-packed, non-stop, whoop-de-whoop, which I don't get that feeling. You know, there's action moments, but to me it's not action-packed. Like, just because the governor stands outside of the prison and kills one minor character and shoots at the others, for me that's not a whole lot of action. That's just some guy shooting off a gun. We've seen it a million times before. So those little scenes like that, even though there's action in them, I don't really count, because it's not like, you know, in season 4 where they hit the prison, that's action. Even in season 3 at the season finale, this is weird. Here's something weird. I enjoy season 3 a lot less, mainly because of the dialogue. But then when we get to the end of season 3, I loved the season finale. Loved it. I love how they continued the governor's story. I love how he mowed his own people down. I was probably one of the only fans, because I heard a lot of complaints, I was probably one of the only fans that was begging for them to hit the prison and then leave and, you know, and fail, essentially. Because that's how it was in the comic. The prison arc in the comic, the governor came after Michonne butchers him, and he attacks, and he draws back. He comes back again, he attacks, he, you know, chops off Tyrese's head, and then they flee, and then they fight with, they fight with Michonne and Tyrese before that. But you see what I'm saying? He attacks, he withdraws, he attacks, he withdraws, and then finally he blows in, and he's like, we'll rebuild fences, you know, kill them all, knock it all down, whatever. That's what I wanted in season 3. I got that, and I saw a lot of complaints, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. What took me out of it, though, was season 1 and season 2 had so much character development, so much shit going on, with the dialogue especially being one of my favorites, one of my favorite aspects or elements of those seasons, and the character interactions, just everything. We come out of that, and we come into, sometimes the writing felt like color by numbers. Some of the scenes felt like it was to an audience that, wasn't too clever. It was kind of like, look, here's everything. Look at where, you don't have to really think about it. It's all right in front of you. And then we get moments, and I've talked about this a couple times, where the dialogue is just cringeworthy. And the biggest moment that sticks out in my head is probably one of, if I can have it erased from a Blu-ray DVD and buy that copy, I probably would. It's the moment where Andre is like, what's your last name or your real name or some shit like that, and he's like, I'll never tell. And then he takes a step closer, and he's like, never, or some shit like that. And then later on, he just says his name like it's nothing. I don't know. All the dialogue there, certain elements in the story for season 3, now it felt flat for me. Now, don't twist it and say, I hate season 3, I think it's the worst ever. That's not really true, because there are moments I really enjoy. I love David Morrissey's portrayal of the governor. I really do. And I know there's a couple fans, that do not like him as the governor, but I love him. I absolutely love his charisma. I love his charm. I love what he did with that character. It's just some of the writing, some of the motivations. It's a lot of the dialogue, and it's certain remixes even from the comic book where I feel like instead of showing respect for the source material, it's like, the source material ain't shit, we're gonna do it this way, fuck it. And that part just feels off. And I'm not saying this to be like a comic purist. I'm saying this to be, to understand that when you have source material, usually the characters and the stories, when it follows that somewhat, it feels authentic, because again, these are characters that are translated from that source material. When you have shit that pops up on screen that's just not at all what the characters are like, we get Andrea. Andrea is a character that even from season 1 and season 2, we were seeing something forming of comic Andrea. It was authentic to the comic character. It was authentic to her character. And then all of a sudden in season 3, there's this shift. It started coming in season 2. There was a hint of it with her and the Shane stuff. Not just them getting it on, but them seeming as if they were, against the group. So the seeds were starting to be planted in season 2, and then in season 3 it seemed like it wasn't genuine enough. It wasn't authentic to the character on the show and in the comic. And that's the shit I'm talking about, where it's so, not authentic, out of place. So out of place. Let's just say that. These moments you're just like, oh, fucking hell. Another one too, I'm gonna throw this out there, where Tyrese and them, and I know they were trying to mix the groups and make it layered, and I understand and I respect that for what they tried to do, but the shit with Tyrese coming to Rick and them, and then going back to the governor, Rick losing his shit with Lori, and that whole scene, I fucking love Andrew Lincoln, but even his acting there, even that scene with his acting, it could not be saved. There was something about it, and I'm willing to fucking bet money on it, that for whatever reason, Andrew Lincoln or the others involved in that scene felt uncomfortable with that scene and might have not even wanted it. And I'm going to be ballsy enough to say that, because something just feels clearly off with that whole scene. When he sees Lori and starts freaking out, there's something that just feels off, and I'm just going to go with my gut. I could be totally wrong. If I am sorry. I love Andrew Lincoln. I don't want anyone thinking I'm putting him down. I fucking love the guy. But something's off there. Anyway, this has been way too long, like always. I only meant to do a 2-minute video discussing this, so that way I could get your thoughts. I can marathon this season, and then maybe in a month or 2 from now, I could come back with maybe a 2-3 part video that's really long and dissect this list. I don't know what I'm gonna do now, but I do know I'm gonna revisit this with a best to worst list of the episodes. But for now, until then, give me your thoughts and opinions. What are your best episodes from top to bottom, best to worst, of The Walking Dead on AMC? Mine again. For now, I know a lot of it's going to change, especially after, after the season wraps up, but I do know there's going to be some shift here. But Mayan, number 1, season 6. Number 2, season 1. Number 3, season 5. Number 4, season 4. Number 5, season 2. And number 6, season 3. I guarantee a lot of that's going to change. However, season 6, again, unless it fails, it's probably going to stay on top. And season 3 will probably stay on bottom. Thank you for your support. We are almost at 44,000 subscribers. If we're over that, I'm sorry. Last time I looked, I think it was 43 and change. But thank you very much. On the road to 100K because you are liking, sharing, and spreading the word of mouth. I honestly cannot tell you how thankful I am for that. All right, something creeped me out over there in the woods. I'm going to get going. Huge thank you very much. Don't take this as a sign of disrespect, but I just shot myself a little and I got to get out of here. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, thank you though. Thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Yeah, one of these days there will be a walker coming out of those woods to get me. We're getting there. Trust me. Subscribe now.